Hi, everyone, and welcome into the Rochester Press Box. I'm Bill Pucko. Happy to be joined by the guys. Tariq, Spence.
Counting down the days to the start of all the camps opening, and not just one or two, all of them.
Yeah, counting them down. We survived July.
Yes, we did. Congratulations, everybody.
All right, so let's talk some football.
Hold on, are you wearing the same thing you were wearing last week?
No, I have multiple purple shirts.
Okay, I'm sorry. You were saying, go ahead.
How dare you?
Lisa, you've worn that 17 jersey before.
I absolutely have the Josh Allen authentic jersey to commemorate the kickoff of training camp. Come on, guys, it's built time. It's built time. Let's go.
Is that Josh Allen's jersey?
Yes, of course.
All right,
It's
can
17.
you match that intensity?
Really?
Yeah. Well, no, he didn't wear it, but it's the one they wear on the field. No big deal.
So, look, we'll put the Bills aside for the moment. With the rest of the NFL opening up, is there a team or a couple teams out there maybe that intrigue you as the season?
I'm not going to say that one team that's in the AFC. I'm just leave that alone for now. Let's go with Baltimore. I'd like to see Baltimore with everything that's gone on with Lamar Jackson in that offseason. They got everything settled. That offense has always been interesting to me. They've always been on the cusp of everything going on. You add Odell Beckham Jr. I will say Baltimore. But I've never seen in an NFL offseason so many people either get the bag with these expectations of going to the Super Bowl, anticipating getting it with Joe Burrow in Cincinnati, or this is it. Like, this is the season. They've got to get this done literally this year, or they're going to break up the entire team. You look at Arizona and Kyler Murray, that might not work.
No, that's done. I mean, that's
and then you also look at the fact that Denver, they're basically like, if this guy doesn't get this done, and he got the bag 2 years ago. So I've never seen a season where everybody's got all their chips in the middle of the table here. Usually you've got a couple different teams that are just trying to, let's see if we can work it out and make an NFL season out of it. No, there's a lot of expectations for at least 3/4 of the NFL teams.
So I got two teams. He took one of mine, but they're both in the same division. We're all coming out of the AFC West. I want to see what happens with Denver because of what you just said, right? You bring in Sean Payton. He's going to now be the quarterback whisperer for Russell Wilson. If that doesn't work out, it's one of the biggest mistakes the Broncos have ever made. In that same division, the Chargers. I look at the Chargers and Ravens the same way I look at the Angels in Major League Baseball. They should be good. You have the talent to be good. Why are you not good? It blows my mind, like you said, that the Ravens do not have more wins with Lamar Jackson, a quarterback. I understand the injury last year, beat him before that. But even more mind-boggling is all this stuff we hear about Justin Herbert out in Los Angeles with the Chargers, how great the play calling is out there, the coaching staff, the talent they have around him, Austin Eckler, that defense. And then every year, there's an excuse as to why it didn't work out. I get the impression, to the point you made earlier, it's threat level midnight in Denver if things don't work out. But if things don't work out for the Chargers...
Threat level midnight.
Threat level midnight. If things don't work out for the Chargers this year, I think you see heads roll in Los Angeles as well.
Well, there was a surprise that didn't happen a year ago. A lot of surprise. For me, I think the most fascinating collection of teams is in that the NFC Central, where you've got Detroit, which has been god-awful for how long, and they're now the favorites in the division. Chicago with the first-round draft pick and run by a local guy. Minnesota had all those close game wins last year and are bound to come back. And then there's Green Bay breaking in a new quarterback. I think that's going to be a lot of fun to watch.
Well, what about New Orleans, too? I mean, you look at David Carr moving over now. So much emotion, leaving the Raiders and all the different things going on there. They're trying to rebuild, maybe try to do what they did with Drew Brees a few years ago and to try to steal some wins. Atlanta's rebuilding now, but they've got some young stars. They might want to. Tampa Bay, my goodness. We'll find out what's going on with Baker Mayfield there.
Yeah, what do you mean what's going on? I'll tell you what's going on with Baker Mayfield. Same thing has been going on with Baker Mayfield for the last 2 seasons. Nothing's going on with Baker Mayfield.
That he loves himself, that Baker Mayfield loves Baker Mayfield?
Well, who doesn't?
Who's worse, Arizona or Tampa?
Arizona. They're in trouble. They're in serious trouble. You just paid him, that quarterback, Kyler Murray, a ton of money. He's not going to work out.
How, with everything they did, how they wound up in that spot.
No, but it's karma. That's what you get for drafting Josh Rosen, the place that you did in abandoning him after a season. That's what you get for signing a head coach that barely had a winning record in college and handing him everything when he gets there. And going back to your point that you made about the North Division, the NFC North.
The North.
Going old school.
Love it.
That seems like one of those divisions, although I am interested to see how it plays out, that whoever wins it's going to have 8 or 9 wins. That seems like one of those divisions that it's going to be so bad somebody has to win it. Bears on the way up. You're right about the Vikings. The Vikings are not the Vikings that we think they are. I don't think Green Bay breaks at a quarterback quick enough, as you put it, to do anything there. I mean, who wins that division with 13 wins? Does that, right?
Either way, we're right on the cusp of 6 solid months of some great football, and everyone can't wait.
And no mention of Aaron Rodgers and the Jets.
No, that's coming. We're talking Buffalo Bills next year on the Press Box. just passing through. J-Mac, Soccer Sam Fantuzzo, Loretta Scott, Joe Beard, 29 in all, life lessons from notable Rochesterians. Available now.
I have some travel books, Volume 1, Volume 2. You'll be able to get one of these books for free when you buy the new Volume 2 for only $14.95. Contact me at MikeTheGetawayGuy@gmail.com.
Welcome back. We are the Rochester Press Box. We're talking Buffalo Bills this time. Okay, so we handled the rest of the NFL. We put the AFC East to the side. Let's talk about them. Where do you think they're going to finish? How are they going to do?
Well, I think they're a 12-13 win team again, right? Absolute minimum 12-13 win team.
Vegas argues with you.
Okay, Vegas.
10.5. I'm just saying. That's the line.
Not worried about it. I'm taking 10.5. I'm taking over 10.5 every single day of the week. Heck, I'm going to go empty my bank account and put it on over 10.5 right now. Who is a legitimate threat in division to the Buffalo Bills right now? And if you look at me and tell me it's the New York Jets, you're out of your word I can't say on television mind. But go ahead, be out of your mind. Go ahead.
No. I'm just like, they're the most dangerous.
Okay.
I will say that. They're the most dangerous.
There's a difference between most dangerous and actual threat.
Well, I will say this. I think you'll split with them. I think you'll win one game, lose the other.
That's fair. Yeah, I could agree. I could see us splitting a game just
There
like
you
they
go.
split with them last season. But the fact of the matter is, when you look at the talent and the way the teams are run in Buffalo versus New York, Miami, and New England, it's far and away a benefit for the Buffalo Bills. I mean, you do have quarterback questions in Miami, and it's unfortunate because you never want to see anybody not play well because of their health, but that's a legitimate thing you have to worry about with Tua. Robert Saleh is not a good coach, head coach of the Jets. There, I said it. They're in this position now because of what he's done the last couple of seasons. I get a major Rex Ryan vibe from Saleh, wanting to look like a tough guy, not being able to handle his own room. And you look at what's going on in New England. Is New England winning this division? No, they're not.
Boy, Rex Ryan, though, the bluster. Rex Ryan's whole thing to me was like, talk louder than everybody else in the room and people will listen.
Yeah.
Saleh's, I don't know.
no,
I think Saleh's got a chance to be a good coach.
You think it's a coincidence that he runs the steps as soon as the media walk out with their camera pregame? You think it's a little bit weird that he abandoned the second overall pick that he drafted the year before because some folks in his locker room were upset about it?
It worked out for Arizona, so maybe it'll work out here.
He wants to be everybody's buddy. He wants his players to like him, and he wants to come off as a tough guy. And in that way, he is Rex Ryan.
I think for the pick, I agree. At least 11 wins for the Buffalo Bills. I'd expect nothing less. I believe it's the toughest road is going to be Kansas City, obviously. I think Cincinnati's going to be on the road as well.
You can't walk past that division.
It's just tough. It's the fact that they got to face these guys again, and they're on the road. And by the way, they got to go to London. And there's always a surprise game.
And one of the odds-on favorites to take the bye, the first seed in the AFC, is Jacksonville because of their schedule, because of the division. I got the Bills thing worked out. And I've convinced myself that this is the case, that the opening game is a great setup for them to play in New York with everything else that's going there, and they're on Hard Knocks, no less. That's not going to help them.
No, it's not.
I think the Bills go in and win their opener at New York and beat them again later in the season. They go 4-2 in the division, split with the other two.
Sure.
But they beat the Jets twice, which is significant because that could well keep them out of the playoffs.
Well, it's been a whole lot of drama so far this year for the Jets in the sense that they've got this brand new offense. They were terrible offensively last year. So now they got this new quarterback in, MVP, Super Bowl winner. They should be a lot better. It makes for a great first game. I think the tone for the season for the Bills and the Jets will be that first game.
But to validate my point, isn't the best time to play a team that's in the Jets' position right now Game 1 in New York?
Absolutely, without question. You're 100% right. But I will say this, and mark the tape, write it down, save this. 10 games in, the Jets will be 500 or worse. You heard it here first.
You sure you want to mark the tape on that?
Mark the tape.
All right, we'll get that taken care of. We are the Rochester Press Box. Like it or not is next. Here's the Press Box trivia question brought to you by Market View Liquor, where exceptional customer service meets an extensive selection. Jefferson Road.
it's way up there. Hello again, Mike O'Brien, your getaway guy. I'm going to take you there. Kid-friendly getaways in Toronto, I've got them. Come along for the ride. Check out the Getaway Guy on Facebook.
Here's the Press Box Trivia answer, brought to you by Market View Liquor, where exceptional customer service meets an extensive selection. Jefferson Road at 390.
All right, I'm going to stay with quarterbacks. I'm going to talk about Josh Allen, and he is the third stringer, and it appears that that's where the Bills have him now. Who knows if that will change, maybe to back up or whatever, but it does appear that what they're doing with Josh Allen is keeping him where they have him and letting one of the other guys start. That might be for a week, it might be for 6, it might be for the whole season. And watch, the head's going to explode here in a second, because I'm going to tell you, it has been part of the Bills' plan.
I'm coming over this
Here
table.
it is. It's part of the Bills' plan. And the reason they're doing that is because I believe when they drafted the kid, they knew he had things to work on. I believe they feel like he is down that line, exactly what they thought he was going to be. And I believe they don't think there's any reason to rush him. Other people are going to say to you right away, oh, he's a bust. The kid hasn't made us a starting quarterback. They're not worried about that. It's about when he's ready, when he will play. And when that happens, he'll get an obvious chance to show he deserves the job. The plan is in place.
Opening day starter, who you got still?
If I'm picking it right now, I'm going to say McCarron is going to start.
still have
But it's either
McCarron?
going to be he or Peterman. It's not going to be Josh.
Look at you. Wow, what a guess here.
I'm saying it's McCarron.
Stick with Peter.
Okay, and John, who's your
Schedule's
opening day
brutal. I
quarterback?
hope it's McCarron. They got to go to Minnesota and Green Bay in the first month. Let McCarron take his lumps, and then let Allen be the Messiah.
Oh, Mike's got a weather report. It's either going to rain or be sunny. One of those two.
The plan in place.
Welcome back. Thanks for joining us here. We are the Rochester Press Box, our Like It or Not segment brought to you by Sport Clips, where the MVP experience is better than ever. Sport Clips. It's a game changer. No appointments are needed. Stop by a Rochester location today. Tariq, like it or not, Greg Popovich is going to coach till he's 80.
I was surprised, but then I saw Victor Wembanyama play, and I'm like, I don't know. A guy coming in who's had that much international players on his team and won with those players, I think this is a pretty good man. Listen, he didn't forget basketball. He knows how to play it. He's got a great system. He's been waiting for a star to be in this spot. I think this gives him 1, 2, 3 years to see what they can do with Wembanyama. If it doesn't work in 2 years, then you start looking
Well,
at
so
it.
clarification. I mean, San Antonio's been down a bit, got the first pick.
No stars.
Popovich just signs a 6-year extension of his contract
That's
again
a
to
thank
coach
you.
until he's 80.
That's a thank you. Here's your contract. Thank you for all your services thing.
Why would you not do what they did with Riley and just put him in the front office and let him oversee a young coach that's going to be in there? Like, that would have been the smart thing to do, because everything you just said, I agree with you. He's got the experience with international players. He knows his basketball. He knows international basketball and how to translate it back into an NBA game. But to be coaching at that way in your 70s, there's going to be stress. It's not like Wembanyama's walking in and they're making the playoffs this year, right? Like, if you make him a coach emeritus over a guy like a Spoelstra was when Riley was there, or when they first started, that seems like a better move to me than giving him the reins till he's 80.
I think
that's
you
the
train
whole-
somebody underneath.
Yeah,
him.
he's right. And the whole age thing, I mean, it's a delicate subject to address, but, Paterno, Boeheim, Bowden,
But
80.
listen,
you
how
can't
many
possibly be as good at 80 as you were at 50.
But how many assistants do they have on NBA teams? Like, it's not like he's going to just be coaching he's basically the architect of this bad boy. He's sitting back and let everybody else do what they're supposed to do. I mean, I get it. There's about how many assistant coaches on a basketball team?
72.
Hey, thank you. I mean, they can't miss it, for crying out loud. And plus, they don't want to screw this up. Somewhere along the line, somebody's going to be right over his shoulder watching and making sure he's on point. The organization won't let him fail.
Like it or not, Bob Huggins, West Virginia basketball coach, claims that he did not quit.
The guy who put out a statement saying he quit. You mean that guy right there? Because I read the statement that had his name. Who wrote the statement, Bob? Bob, who wrote the statement? And how? Did you not see the statement? For 3 weeks after the statement came out to be like, wait a minute, I didn't write what the
You
hell?
know who wrote it?
AI. That's who wrote it.
Allen Iverson wrote that statement?
George
No!
Costanza.
George Costanza. Like,
Artificial intelligence, man.
it was
Come
a
on.
joke. I got it. What I don't understand is, like, I don't know if this is regret because he misses what he wants to do, which I get. I mean, take what he has done and was accused of out of it with the DWIs and the comments that he made and all of those alleged DWIs, the comments that he made out of it. Look, I get that this has been your life and maybe 3 weeks to a month out of it, you realize, oh my God, what have I done? But to do it the way that he did, to say that he didn't actually quit, shut up. And by the way, who owes you that job? After everything that's happened,
He was lucky to survive the first time.
the school stood by him, which was mind-boggling to me. That might be the only state where the school could stand by you and not catch massive backlash. And I say that as a man who spent a lot of time in West Virginia. But to go and double down with the accusations afterwards, then for you to come out in your half-cut-off windbreaker that you always wear and go, I didn't actually quit. Who wrote the statement, Bob? Who wrote it?
George Costanza.
Some people just think they're too big to actually go down until they go down.
We are the Rochester Press Box. Our Like It or Not segment was brought to you by Sport Clips. Unfinished Business is next.
The Press Box Stat of the Week is being brought to you by McArdle's Restaurant in Fairport. Come home to McArdle's.
And now to Eichel. He floated one.
Welcome back, and thanks for joining us here on the Rochester Press Box. Unfinished Business brought to you by the Genesee Brew House, your beer destination since 2012. Visit the gift shop, enjoy a tasting at our pilot brewery, and dine at the pub-style restaurant, the Genesee Brew House. Pat.
I have a proposition with Bills camp starting. Look, a lot of Bills fans are upset they didn't get tickets that are now necessary to get to Bills camp at St. John Fisher University because the event has become so popular. And there are families, parents who said, look, I just want to take my kids to training camp so they can get near their heroes. And they're right? You can't take a 3, 4, 5, 6-year-old kid to Orchard Park for a game. I mean, I did, and my dad was a terrible father when it came to that stuff. But the point I'm making is it's expensive and it's not practical. Training camp is for these kids to get as close to their heroes as they can. Think about what you felt like if you grew up in this town when you were that age, staring up at these literal superhero human beings over you, whether it was Reggie Germany or Eric Mold signing a ball for you. It was like one of the greatest things you'd ever seen. Here's my proposition. Next year when the Bills do this ticket thing, they make a new rule. You're not allowed in with a ticket without a child with you. Make it parents, make it grandparents, make it aunts and uncles. But you need to have a kid with you, and a kid that you're allowed to have walking into training camp on campus. Again, that's what it should be for. I know we all want to go watch the Bills play, but if you're in your 20s, 30s, and 40s, 50s, whatever, you have the ability to buy a ticket, drive out to Orchard Park, take a bus, and go watch a game. My 6-year-old, my 8-year-old, my 12-year-old, my 15-year-old don't have that ability. Give them the gasp and excitement. You lived your life, it's over.
Go out and play whatever it is that you do and do it the way the Kansas City Chiefs do. All of this NFL talk about who got this guy going here, guy wants to play here, hates it here, get a trade, all this other stuff. And what do the Kansas City Chiefs do? Throw a rumor out every once in a while. Hey, we'd like to take a nice star wide receiver. Hey, we're interested in a couple different players. And they keep chugging along, winning championship and another championship. And if everybody starts colliding into themselves and trying to get all of these different players, they'll get another championship. May not be this year, maybe next year. But they found a way to basically put together a unit of players that will go for the championship. Remember, Pat Mahomes took less money, could have gotten more money with 2 rings, could get more money with 3 rings, just to make sure that enough players on the team were able to get paid so he can keep the nucleus together. Kelsey's not going anywhere. Neither is Reed, for that matter. But the fact that they were able every single year to put the noise away, play football, and end up the last team in February, it pays off. I don't know what's going to happen. Kansas City may have a great season, may not have a great season, but I like the way they modeled their everyday consistency of just going out there and playing football.
It is 224 pages long, divided into 32 chapters, 4 years in the making. It may or may not cap a writing and broadcasting career in Rochester that is now into his 44th year. And somewhat surprisingly, I think it isn't really a sports book. It could have been titled Collective Wisdom or Individual Truths, but it's called Just Passing Through, Life Lessons from Notable Rochesterians. And yes, I wrote it. When I first considered taking on such a project, I asked Gannett sports writer Sal Majorana what I should expect. Sal has written 22 books. He told me that you'll never make much of any money writing a book, especially a book on Rochester for Rochester, but there's nothing like the feeling of accomplishment that you get when the first copies arrive on your doorstep. And he was right. Just Passing Through is about people that you might know. Stacy Pension, Mike Catalana, Pat Duffy, J-Mac, John Dady, Denny Wright, Soccer Sam, Dr. James Maxwell, to name a few, a series of 6- and 7-page biographies, local people providing candid insights about their lives and the things that got them from there to here. Collective wisdom. Everyone, all of us, have something to offer, a story to tell. So, if you have a chance this summer, give it a read. It's available at all the usual outlets. If I may say so, it'll be time well spent. It was a worthwhile endeavor. That's Unfinished Business, brought to you by the Genesee Brewhouse, and that is our program. Plus, this book is going to help get you into the regular football season. That's all I'm trying to provide.
What did Pat say in your book?
Look, I got to say, I did read the book. I did. And there was no chapter more brilliant than the one on Pat. That's just enough. That's reason for it to buy it. No,
Brilliant?
Go to that first. Do you know the page number off the top of your head?
No, because those are the only page numbers I read. I didn't really care.
Thanks for your contributions. You'll be in the next one, Tariq.
Thank you.
Hey, thanks for joining us here in the Rochester Press Box, and we'll see you again next week.
That's a great quote. That was your quote? You didn't steal that from anybody?
No,
there was stuff from Nietzsche or anybody else.
I mean, it might have been. Maybe.